Yes, it's me. On a board whim, I decided to watch the Disney quote-unquote channel original movie for some reason. I don't really know what possessed me, but it was infinitely less intensely cringe-inducing than I thought it would be, given my previous experience with Disney Channel movies and Disney Channel in general. But as the title says, I decided to watch Stargirl, a movie that is both a movie that made me mildly uncomfortable in the opening monologue, but then I kind of warmed up to it and enjoyed it. But I don't really care about any of that. I'm here to tell you something very important. Stargirl is a terminal illness movie in disguise. What is a terminal illness movie? Well, I'll tell you by comparing it to another terminal illness thing. I want to eat your pancreas. So a terminal illness movie starts with our bland, boring guy who's just kind of trying to blend in. He's not trying to make any waves, but is just trying to make it out of wherever he is alive, whether it be high school or just life. We can see it in Leo. His opening monologue is how unique and interesting he was as a kid, and then he got bullied and said, I don't want to be interesting anymore, and now I'm just a boring old dude. And then I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, it was with our protagonist, who just monologues as well that he is a nobody. He's just an existence in a room. They're both just dull and boring. They're just kind of there to be there. Until we get the second piece of the puzzle, the mysterious girl. Which, to clarify, doesn't have to be a girl, but both of these cases it is a girl, and the other examples I can think of, it is also a girl, but it's not exclusive to a girl. Just to make that clear, that's a whole other thing I could get into. But this mysterious girl arrives, and this boring guy's existence is just shattered like glass. It's entirely changed. With Leo, it's Stargirl, and when she sings happy birthday to him in front of the entire school, and it happens for our protagonist, and I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, when Sakura tells him that she wants to eat his pancreas. Which, a brief aside on that, Stargirl at the end builds up to like a Stargirl title drop kind of thing, but then doesn't do it, and I'm really upset about that. Because I Want to Eat Your Pancreas does a title drop, and it's good, and this one is setting up for it. It's like, she was such a unique girl, she was just like the rest of us, a girl, and then just like doesn't do it, and I'm really upset about that. Anyways, the mysterious girl is just an enigma. She's there to be a change in this boring guy's life, to give him color and just make them new. But they're this like unpredictable force that you can't control, you can't hope to control. You just have to go along with it. In the case of someone who's dying and is terminally ill, there's more of a reason to go along with it than Stargirl is just this like infectious personality. But their whole point isn't to have this major connection, because they're going to disappear. Sakura is going to die, and Stargirl disappears because she's always just this enigma that can't be tied down. Which means there isn't usually like a romantic relationship tied here. And if there is, it's one that's not going to last. Because Stargirl is one you know isn't going to last. And Sakura's going to die. I think that says about most of all what it needs. But their point isn't to have a relationship. It's simply to change this boring guy into a not boring guy who has a life that has meaning and purpose. And once they do that, they up and leave, or they die. But they change the person. They changed someone. They didn't completely do nothing before they disappeared or died, but they were important to someone. And we can see this in Stargirl when, with the change, because Leo comes into high school because he was bullied, and he's like, I don't want to be anything because I got bullied. But then, as the movie goes on, we see the tie motif in the beginning, where he didn't wear ties because his tie got cut when he was bullied, because you're like a kid in a middle school wearing a tie that is not a nice looking tie, which is for grieving, so I'm totally okay with it. but I can definitely see how you would be bullied for that because it's not. You're not gonna look cool in like a beaver tie or whatever it was. But now he's in high school and he's just this boring guy, and then he goes on throughout the movie, and you see the ties start going. They start showing back up again as Stargirl has more and more of an impact on him. The ties come back because they're a reflection of his individuality, of him becoming more of a unique individual instead of just part of the status quo. And they also, another way to show this is with the school, where it starts off and they've won nothing. It's this like dull, boring looking school that probably hasn't been renovated in like 100 years. And then by the end, everyone's like bright and colorful. They've won thousands of awards. Everyone's wearing bright clothes, and there's so much life in this place, showing that Stargirl was this mysterious figure that changed this whole place. Because it really wasn't just Leo she changed, it was the whole school. I want to hear Pancreas's case. It's more just our protagonist because he's the only one who really knows besides the family. But they still, both cases of the mysterious girl, they change someone. And that change results in a impact on that person for the rest of their life, even if the person who did the change won't necessarily be there. Which is, this is basically a Terminal Illness movie. There's the guy who's really boring, mysterious girl comes in, changes everything, and then she disappears or dies. Which now we get to the point of, I want to talk about brief things about Stargirl that I have thoughts on. Mainly Hillary and her little thing, because she's like the only conflict Stargirl meets. Because for context, Stargirl decided to give a kid who could no longer ride a bike his bike back as a gift because she just didn't think. And Hillary calls her out on it. And then all Stargirl really does is like, I'm sorry. And then she disappears for the rest of the movie because that's the end, basically. Which really bothered me because she kind of doesn't resolve anything. Her whole arc is like, she's an individual who's like, yes, unique, and then she's big sad, so she goes and be's a dull, like, normal person. But then she's like, no, I can't do that because that's not me, so I'm gonna be unique again. So I don't think she really learned a lot from the whole Hillary thing. She kind of just says she's really sorry and then leaves, which really rubs me the wrong way. You could argue she learned from it, but I don't really see it. But that's my really biggest nitpick. The opening monologue is really cringy, and like, I don't know why. It just makes me uncomfortable. But that's all my complaints. And now for another brief aside that is entirely unrelated to this, but I thought was worth mentioning, is that La La Land is like a fake Terminal Illness movie, and by Terminal Illness movie I mean it follows the things I mentioned, but nobody actually dies or disappears, kind of. They're both still alive and going about their lives. They just kind of, it's like a mutual terminal illness movie, which sounds really weird, but also could be a thing because you're both like on your deathbed and you're both gonna like make your last days as good as possible. But now I'm on an aside and an aside. So we're gonna get back to La La Land, which the whole thing is there's Mia and there's Sebastian. They're both like dull, boring people, just like dead end jobs, doing nothing. They got dreams though. They got dreams. And the whole point of the movie is they meet each other and they come into contact and they change each other's lives. They both give this like color to it, not a physical color in the movie because there's a lot of color in the movie, but their lives are enriched and there's this youthful joy and radiance and energy to it all. But then at the end, in the controversial part that I really hated the first time I saw it because it was like 12:30 at night and I couldn't process what was going on, they don't end up together. But now as I've thought about it, they both impacted each other, so they helped each other grow, but they didn't end up in a relationship. which I can see why people will be mad about because you want them to end up together. That's like a thing. And when I watched it the first time, I was hooked on it, but I was really just hooked on Ryan Gosling because that single strand of hair going down, that's hot. But anyways, it's a terminal illness movie. That's what it is. It's a terminal illness movie, but no one dies. That's it.